I made a point of going to Termasaya to meet with Palestinian American citizens who had been affected by the settler violence on that town in June, and I had the opportunity to meet with the widow of Omar Katan and their two children to express our condolences to her and the family. But I also came to see the damage that was caused to the village. I had a message to deliver, which was that the United States strongly condemns any extremist violence, whether it's perpetrated by Israelis or Palestinians, and that we expect full accountability for any individuals involved in those acts, including judicial action, as well as restitution for any damaged property or homes as appropriate. I think we've been very clear in our position on the judicial overhaul in Israel. President Biden himself has addressed this issue on several occasions to emphasize that any changes that affect Israel's democracy, in order to be enduring, in order to be sustainable, need to enjoy as broad a consensus as possible from the Israeli people. And we have backed and encouraged efforts by President Herzog, as well as other Israelis who have sought to mediate between the government, the coalition, and opposition parties and protesters in the hopes of reaching a mutually agreeable way forward. We think that's in the best interest of Israeli democracy, and that's in the best interest of the Israeli people. We have a very strong relationship with Israel, as you know. We have very candid conversations with them in which we both freely express our views to each other. We do not hesitate to avail ourselves of those channels. The Biden administration has been consistently supportive of not only Israel's security, but its democracy. And this year, when Israel is celebrating 75 years of independence, it's also 75 years of the U.S. and Israel relationship. The reason for the enduring nature, for the stability of that relationship, is based on certain democratic values that are shared between the United States and Israel. The maintenance of those values, the preservation of those values, we expect to be part of the relationship in the years moving forward. We strongly oppose any unilateral actions that build mistrust and contribute to instability on the ground, and that undermine the prospects of a two-state solution and the geographic viability of a future Palestinian state. Settlement activity, settlement expansion most definitely falls within that category, as do other actions like demolitions and evictions, compensation for individuals or the families of individuals who are involved in acts of terrorism, incitement, a variety of unilateral steps that we think are fundamentally at odds with the goal of a two-state solution. As I said before, we have channels with the Israeli government and regularly communicate with them. We are honest with each other, we are candid with each other, which is part of the reason that we've been able to maintain a strong relationship for so many decades. We raise a variety of issues with them, including settlement activity. The statements that we've issued in public are not performative. We also express them directly to the Israeli government, express our opposition. It's a regular feature of our conversations because we think that the expansion of settlements is bad for the Palestinian people, it's bad for the Israeli people, and it's bad for the national interest of the United States. The hallmark of democracy is a diversity of viewpoints, and that people are free to express their views. The Biden administration has been very clear on these issues, in part because President Biden has been commenting on these issues for the last 50 years publicly in a variety of forms of public service. But it is the strength of democracy that there are divergent views. Democracy is designed to channel those views in a way that's constructive, in a way that differences are resolved peacefully. But the existence of differences is ultimately something that points to the vitality of democracy. As you may be aware, we reached an understanding with Israel on the steps it must take in order to meet the statutory requirement of reciprocity in order to join the visa waiver program. That requirement essentially means that Israel has to provide equal treatment to American citizens regardless of ethnicity, national origin, or religion. We have a team out here that is observing how Israel is applying those laws. We have emphasized to Israel the importance that reciprocity standard be met in practice and not just in words. And we expect that in the coming weeks and days and weeks that there should be further updates to Israeli regulations and public-facing guidance to reflect the understanding we reached. Again, the visa waiver program requires that Israel provide equal treatment to all American citizens, including Palestinian Americans listed on the Palestinian Population Registry, and that they not be discriminated against on the basis of national origin, ethnicity, or religion. Meeting the reciprocity requirement is a condition for Israel's entry into the program. Israel understands that it must meet this requirement, and we expect it to take all necessary steps in order to fulfill it.